What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and today we're going to showcase an Earth Expedition team. Now, this team does about a million damage on full auto. With endgame gear, they'll do 1.5 million or more, but I haven't sunk a lot of resources into these heroes because this is a new account and I'm really spreading around the wealth. So today we're going to talk about what heroes you can use, how they contribute to the team, and what kind of stat goals you need to be able to do a million or more damage on this boss. So first up, we have Tenebria. Now she has a multi-hit skill on her S number 2 and also her S number 3. This is very important because you want to hit AoE damage as much as possible so that you're hitting both the boss and contributing to your score, but also hitting the crystal. Hitting the crystal will eventually kill the crystal, give you a buff, and that will help mitigate damage so you don't get that really hard hitting poison effect. On her S number 2, she has decreased speed. Increased speed and decreased speed are important to do a lot of damage because this is going to help you to take more turns. You want to lap the boss over and over and over again. That way, you can kill the crystal, but also you can just do more damage to the boss before your timer runs out. Then her S number 3 has a chance to decrease defense. This is important for doing big damage. You want to have at least two heroes on your team with a defense break. Tenebria is going to be number 1. We're also going to bring in Cecilia, who's our secondary defense break. Now, if you don't have Tenebria, you can also use something like a Zealot Carmen Rose. They do roughly the same, but you might have a little bit of trouble as you're going in and killing the crystal. You can also use Bale and Cezanne, but I'm not going to do that because they're super creepy and Bale is a cursed name, so we're not even going to deal with that whole drama there. We're going to go with Tenebria. She's our girl, and she does really great in this expedition. Now, what you want are basic attacker stats. You want to have at least 85% effectiveness because this boss has 100% effect resist. That means 85% is going to give you the maximum chance to land your debuffs. And that's really what she's there for, right? She's there to help to land the debuffs so we can do bigger damage and cycle more. And then she acts as a secondary damage dealer. So after that, we're going to go for at least 85% crit chance because it's opposite element. You'll be able to crit 100% as long as you have 85 here. Then the rest can go into attack and crit damage. Now, ideally, I would want her onto an attack pair of boots. This is a speed pair of boots because I want to bring her speed down to about 180. At 208 speed, she will go before the boss, lands defense break, the boss goes, and now you lose a turn on your defense break. So I want her to go after the boss goes. That way we have the maximum turns on our defense break. When we look at our exclusive equipment here, I cannot click on this. You will get more damage onto the number 3 because that gives her a greater attack instead of normal attack. That's about an extra 20%, right? I think regular attack buff is 50 and then greater is 70. I have her onto the number 2 here because I was using her for Abyss and I needed the sleep chance. Now you can also see that we're not really maxed out onto the effectiveness. This means that I will hit above 85% once I get another exclusive equipment, but there's real no rush to do it. When we look at her artifact, I have her on Calandra because this is a new account. I don't have access to a lot of mage artifacts. Any artifact that you have that will do more damage or reduce your cooldown, like Etika Scepter, will be good. The more skills that she gets off, the more damage she can do is going to be better for your team to score a lot of points. Next up, we have our main damage dealer, Mercedes. Now, I was using bomb model Canna for a long time. I found that Mercedes will do about 2 to 300,000 more on the same gear, which is amazing. She has a multi-target attack on her S number 1 and AoEs on her S2 and S3 with attack buff increase, which is very important. She has a max amount of imprint because you automatically get this when you beat episode number 3, and she's very easy to build. This is on the free attack set. I don't even have an offset. All I'm using is the free gear that the game gave me, and she is doing amazing. Now, you'll do a lot more damage if you put her onto a counter set. Try and aim for at least 4,000 attack Try and get up to 85% crit chance or more. 100% is better because she's a very good PvP unit. Then try and get up to somewhere around 170, 180 speed and 270 to 300% crit damage. I have her onto her own artifact, which is best in slot for pretty much everything. There's really no reason to put her on any other artifact, and you'll get some more stats if you take this to a plus 30. You don't get any extra percent to do anything, but you will increase your base stats, which is nice, and that's going to be a long-term project. But overall, very easy to build. You can see the kind of gear I have her on, and she's still doing a million damage. And next up, we have Tamarin, who's going to be our healer for every one of these expeditions. She works on just about any kind of gear as long as you can hit certain base stats. And you know what? She's really easy to build as well and has a ton of usefulness in a lot of PvE content. What you want are some pretty bulky stats. You want either an HP necklace and an HP ring or one of each. You can see I have one of each here. As long as she's bulky enough to last and not get killed, then she's just fine. These stats, I use her into every expedition, again, even the water expedition, and she has no problem. You can make her as fast as you want because she uses her S number 1 on her first turn instead of wasting a heal, which is pretty good. I have her at 205, and really, she doesn't even have to be this fast. You want to pull her up to 85% effectiveness if you can to dispel the attack buff or the defense buff on all these various bosses. And anything you have left over can go into effect resist, and she's going to work on those stats. Now, ideally, what I would want is something like a Celestine or a Rod of Amaryllis. I don't have those. Any artifact that'll help her cycle faster or do more healing is going to be good. And lastly, we're using Cecilia with no Molagora. Ideally, I'm going to start to build her up a little bit, but haven't dedicated any resources to her yet, and we're still doing great damage. Our S number 1 has a defense break, so now we have a Tenebria defense break, and we also have a Cecilia defense break, which is very good. Our S number 2 is an AoE ability, so again, we're hitting the crystal and we're hitting the boss at 1. So every person on this team has a source of AoE or a multi-hit attack. We see the decreased attack here, which will help you survive. Also decrease speed, which then will couple with Tenebria, right, to decrease speed. And this one also removes one buff, similar to our Tamarin. A little too many T names in this, getting a little confused. Then her S number 3 is going to give immunity to everyone and a barrier, which is good, and it's going to help her survive. It's going to help your team survive. I have her onto an Aurea, so take up some of that damage. And then to get the speed decrease on her S2, then we're using the number 2 exclusive equipment. Her gear looks like it's pretty okay. Not a lot of crafted pieces here. Let's see what we got. Not bad at all. She's going to be on similar gear to something like a Tamarin, right? But we have her onto an HP pair of boots, which is going to be better. She doesn't have to take that very first turn. What she has to do is survive. So we have a mixture of defense and HP with your right side gear, and then we're going to try and hit 85% effectiveness. Anything else can go into effect resist, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. If you have her onto a PvP build where she's very fast with high effectiveness, I think that it will work, but you want to change her artifact because she might take too much damage and then she might die. Now, if you have Rod of Amaryllis on your Tamarin, then that's not going to be a problem, but I don't have a spare one, so we're going to have to keep her onto a very tanky build that's a little bit slower, and she's going to work out great here.
Yep. A nightmare, especially for you. Obey me. You'll be destroyed. Blaze. Cute. I want to torment you. Go away. I will break through. Obey me. Obey me. Hello? Let me help you. Now. Obey me. Obey me. Now, it's time to go to sleep. Go away. Weep and wail. Listen to my song. Shine free. Call, unveil your eye of terror. Lance of steel. Together. Here I go. Obey me. Obey me. Let us meet again on the other side of terror. Disappear, evil one. Obey me. Obey me. Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine! Cute. I want to torment you. Yes! Ha! Go away! Grant me the strength to destroy evil. Beyond the abyss, to the ends of futility. A nightmare, especially for you. Listen to my song. Shine free. Weep and wail. Obey me. Obey me. Here. Let me help you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's shine.
I know Earth Expedition can be very difficult. This is something where not a lot of people score very high in because they want to do a full auto battle, but they also want to score points. It's now kind of a give and take of who you're going to put in and who is going to work. Following this formula, with putting in all heroes with debuffs and AoE abilities who serve a functional role, is really going to help you do a lot of damage. And you can see we're doing over 1 million, and we're not even investing a lot in Molagora. Now, if you want to put more into these teams, if you want to go ahead and add some Molas, if you want to go ahead and start to reforge a lot of pieces of gear, you're going to do even more damage, especially when you upgrade that Mercedes. She's fantastic. Go get a counter set, go hit those stat baselines, and you're going to do so much damage in PvP and also into this expedition. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find it as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.